Alright, you saw the title, you know why you're here. We're talking about Samus. Samus is a character that is almost designed to make you want to destroy your desk in a fit of rage sometimes, and I want to make sure your desk stays alive. Also, your speakers are fine, I just have a really weird cough and it's making me sound weird, but try to ignore that, alright? So yeah, if you've ever come home from class or work or whatever and you're like, you know what would be great? I would love to unwind a bit and play some Super Smash Bros. And then you get online and you bump into this and you end up having the most stressful time ever and your night is ruined. Like, look at this guy's name. What? Shut up. You're annoying. You're bad. So unfortunately, if you're someone who enjoys improving at Smash, or maybe even not even improve, like if you like this game, Quick Play and Elite Smash are not very good spots to train or play seriously, because sometimes you bump into cool people and you play a nice little game, a little best of 5, and they hit you with the well played after, and it's all good. But other times, the people you fight here are just not real. Like, I mean, they're obviously real people, but like, come on, they're not real. I don't mean this in a literal sense. Obviously, they're like people behind a screen, but I'm not being literal, I'm being derogatory. If you want genuine grind practice, you would be infinitely better off somewhere where you can get some feedback. Ideally, this is like you just play offline with people with the same goal as you, but you can also join a Discord, you know, ask for friendlies, get some feedback, you know, talk to people, test out some new stuff. But I still get why a lot of us still go into Elite Smash. It's quick, it's easy. You just open your game and press play. You don't need to talk to anyone, you don't need to set up an arena or ban stages or anything. It's totally fair to want to skip all that and just pick up your controller and play, right? Which brings us back to online Samus. They are inevitable. I understand your rage, I understand the salt. It's weird and confusing to lose against someone with the scrubbiest habits and the most linear game plan, but it just happens sometimes, you know? It sucks. I didn't grind up air drag downs with Joker just to lose to some guy who rolls every time they miss a move, but it happens. So it's like, what's up with that, you know?
Slide to the left, slide to the right. Crisscross! Crisscross!
Still, you know, before we begin, I don't want to enable your bad habits. It might be on you if, let's say, you jump all the time, you carelessly give up the stage and give her free last straps, for example. That's just you not knowing the matchup, but that's fine. That's what this video's for. So here goes part 1 of a little mini series I might start here on the channel, all about Elite Smash Warrior classics, you know, some fat, ugly, piss baby nerds that will show up in your queue every now and then, and a small guide on how to fight them better. We're covering Samus today, but let me know if you guys want to see like online DK or online mess later. That would be fun. Just know that this is not a matchup video. This is an Elite Smasher matchup video. There's a big difference between an offline Samus player and an online Samus player, alright? In a normal Samus guide, I tell you things like, be careful, Nair is a really good aerial for crossing up shields, but I mean, come on, you think the average online Samus is gonna go for cross-ups intentionally? Like, it's different, but yeah. Anyway, I promise by the end of this video, you'll be a little less annoyed next time you match up against the average mashy, campy Samus player. Online Samus and Dark Samus are experts at making you rage. Obviously, no offense to Samus players, there's a lot of cool Samus action going out in the real world. If you're a regular Samus player who likes to compete and improve, then this video isn't about you. I actually would not call Samus a lame character at all. She's super fun. But you gotta admit, she can also be super annoying when she wants to, and she's also really easy to get into Elite Smash. As someone who's gotten a little over half a cast in, she's easy to get in when you compare her to other characters. Following the math here, what this means is that out of the pool of Samus players who made it into Elite Smash, there's a lot of scrubs in here, which translates to more annoying game plans and less cool Samus players. In contrast to like Sheik, for example. You will rarely bump into a Sheik in Elite, but when you do, you know they're gonna try super hard. So if you're in Elite Smash, that is the math. That is why we see Samus players a lot. And that is also why there's a big difference between them and offline Samuses. The bar is lower for them, which means there's more of them. So, does that make sense? Yeah, alright, cool. Let's get into the neutral part of the matchup, when you're both on equal footing and she's just running away and being annoying. In the end, this video is going to be more of a play normally, as you usually would, but expect these things. I'm not going to ask you to shift your entire game plan, especially because I want this to apply to as many people as possible. Like, what if if you're a Knight player and I tell you to use a reflector, right? So just do whatever your character likes, do whatever you feel like you should do based on your character's strengths and your understanding of the matchup. I'm just gonna go over the common habits these people tend to have in neutral, advantage, and disadvantage, along with some general Samus tips. Samus neutral revolves around charging neutral B, stuffing you out with Zair, mixing up movement with down B, using her up B, screw attack to pressure directly above her, jab 1 mix-ups, and being ready to see what you do to not get hit by her side Bs and Zairs. The more online they are, the more careless they'll be with their side Bs. It's a laggy move, but this is online, so if they do it up close, try to punish it. Most short hops just go over the missile. You can just jump over it and hit her on your way down while she's in the end lag animation. It's easy. If your character isn't fast enough or you're not fast enough, that's fine. Just try to remember what they do when they figure out you could have punished it. Maybe they rolled or they shielded or whatever. And same goes for you too. If you shield a lot, they'll remember that and grab. If you jump a lot, they'll hit you with a forward air. They love this move. If you run back, they'll be like, oh, nice. And this is where the distinction between a good Samus and an online warrior Samus becomes more noticeable. If she's annoying, she'll just sit back and keep shooting projectiles until you do something. But if she has a soul, she can also use her uncharged charge shot or side B or her safe-ish aerials to ease her way into your personal space and get some nice damage and just keep pushing you into the corner. Samus can scrap, alright? Samus can throw hands. This is what society doesn't want you to know. There are scenarios where Samus wants to approach you. She just likes to do it in her terms, you know, slowly closing in on you. But again, because this is online and these guys need their precious GSP, they'll likely just keep zoning you out until you mess up inside their burst range. If you have a reflector, then you can skip this step. They'll probably just approach you after they realize you can play this game too. In my experience, they love to just forward air because if you don't know the matchup, side B is amazing at conditioning people to jump. They love their little missile and forward air to cover the jump. They do it all the time. This is the classic online Samus thing, the missile and forward air to cover the jump. If you shield the fair or anticipate it and dash back, this is good for you. This move is punishable. Just remember to wait for the entire move because it lasts for a while, and look at what they do when they miss. A lot of the time, it's a roll. Like a lot of the time, it's a roll. This is another way to tell a MASHY Samus from a normal one. They roll when they miss their forward air, or any other risky-ish move, actually. But other common options are like spot dodge, or runaway pivot grab, or screw attack. If you notice they always do the same thing after they miss these kinds of high-risk-ish moves, that's good for you. You can use that info and use it to push your advantage. You know, if they always roll, catch the roll. If they always spot dodge, catch the spot dodge. Cool, you know, that's adaptation. And given the context, because this is online, there's a chance they will just not adapt to this. When you're a terminal Elite Smash player, you will do anything except blame yourself whenever you lose a stock. So if your read isn't painfully obvious, they might just keep rolling on you all game. And then there's Zair. I mentioned it a little earlier, but Zair is an amazing move at stuffing out jumps. Actually, Samus just has an amazing anti-air game. She loves pressuring you to jump and then punishing you for it. So just know that if you jump a lot, Samus is kind of good at dealing with that. So that means you should mix up your options whenever you want to approach her. You can dash in and shield, you can dash in and dash back, use some platform movement, run up and grab them, see what they do. If you notice they shield a lot or roll a lot when you approach them, you can take note of that. You can poke them with projectiles if you have any. Maybe stop jumping so much. It's not off the table, but they like it when you default to that. Zair combos into a bunch of stuff if she uses it up close, but at max range, it can be a lot harder, and if they're bad, they might overextend here, miss their follow-up, and you can punch them here. Zair at max distance is great. It's not a bad move, but at max distance, they might do Zair to grab, but again, it'll probably give you enough time to dodge it if they're not quick, so it's all good. Charge shot is her best move. It has so many cool properties to it, so make sure you mix up your timing and your options so you don't get shot with it as much. The better the Samus player is, the more they'll do this thing where they don't often fully charge up the neutral B. This helps them get cool follow-ups and allows them to get cool movement too. It's awesome for mix-ups, so just know if a Samus player has a charge shot and it's not fully charged, it's probably intentional. And if they have it fully charged, then yeah, they want you to be scared of it. They might have a read, or they might just want the raw damage, or they might just want the kill. You gotta respect it. It's a really good move. Other things about charge shot, it covers all get up options. It's not hard to time at all, and you can cancel it when charging to a roll or a shield or even into a grab. It's such a good way to just charge neutral B and cancel it into a grab, but that's too cool for MASHY Samuses. They won't do that. They're more likely to shield or roll away. Another notable part of Samus neutral is up B out of shield, or up B just in general. Usually using up Bs on stage have some some sort of risk to them if you miss, and Samus does too, but it's insanely fast even on the way down because you can fast fall it pretty quickly, so it's actually viable in neutral. She could just throw it out. If you mess up your spacing going for a move, you can get hit by it, and it's a really good move to just reset the neutral and you're back to trying to get in, so be sure to mix up your landings. Also, it's kind of tiny, so if you have a sword or any other good disjoint, use the range. So that's how Samus neutral looks like online. Offline, it'll probably just be a much more calculated version of this. You know, they'll mix up what they do and stuff, but to recap before we move on, here's what we have on Samus neutral. They love to anti-air, they don't tend to mix up what they do when they whiff their moves. She's good up close, but most of the time, that's only the case when it's her decision to come to you, not the other way around. Uncharged neutral B is intentional a lot of the time, they can get combos out of it. Up B is really good, be ready to punish it. And salt, alright? Salt being tilted, that makes people not adapt, and because online people tend to never admit when they mess up, myself included, if your read isn't super obvious, there's a chance they'll just not adapt to it. And that's basically how the average online Mashy Samus will behave in neutral. Alright, now we can move on. Alright, so now that you finally won neutral against this absolute wall of a character, you got your combo, you have her cornered, she's in the air, off stage, there's a bunch of stuff she can do. Without really good disjoints, Samus can be hard to juggle thanks to her down B. So if you're choosing between sending her up or sending her out, send her out. It's hard to anti-air her when she's right above you because of her down B and forward air. Platforms can help you juggle, but still it's easier to edge guard her and ledge trap her than it is to just juggle her. So when you send Samus off stage, the first mistake you can make is to just chase her off stage immediately without thinking. People did this so much against me when I was recording footage because they were impatient or desperate, and all they did was give me free ledge traps, and this is like 15 million GSP territory. It's crazy. Maybe we're just bad at the game, guys, come on. If you throw away stage control against Samus like this, that's, you know, that I can't, that's just your fault, all right? That's just that's on you. But yeah, assuming you have the discipline to not just run out and miss an edge guard. If she has her jump and is at a good height, she could just stall here for a while. With down B, she's pretty comfortable here. She can throw out aerials instead. Maybe try to wait a bit. Maybe punish her after she drops a bomb if you're comfortable with the timing or you have a good disjoint and you're sure you're not gonna get hit. It's all about timing. It's about being sure about your range, because if you get hit by a bomb, they'll just beat you back to the stage and ledge trap you, and we don't want that. If you don't attack here, eventually they're gonna stop going for bombs and use up B or their Zair to come back. Thanks to these two moves and Samus's floatiness, they can go really low. If you have a counter, have fun countering up B. Maybe if you're a character that can go really low, you could risk it and hit them with something before, hopefully a disjoint so you don't risk a trade. And if you don't play a character that does very well edge guarding and you don't do any of these things, then you can still try to ledge trap them. The classic hive mind go-to ledge option for them is drop down, double jump, forward air. That's the online warrior bread and butter. It'll catch anyone sleeping at ledge, and if you've been paying attention, they'll probably panic and roll when you shield this. Be ready. But also, since her back throw has some kill potential, neutral get up shield or neutral get up grab is something they'll like, and other than that, it's a pretty standard ledge trap game. She might have some super flexible neutral and an alright recovery, but once you stop getting hit with drop down forward air, she doesn't really have any crazy ledge options and disadvantage. You can be ready for them. Being able to keep them cornered for as long as you can is so important. Keep them from getting back into neutral as much as you can, because that is where they want to be the most. Obviously, everybody hates being a disadvantage, but there's characters that rely on positioning less than others. For example, Zero Suit's always flying around. She can do cool stuff wherever, but Samus really relies on holding the stage, and you gotta do your best to make sure she doesn't take it back. Moving away from the ledge and back to more on-stage advantage interactions, there's also the game of pressuring Samus up close. If you just invade her personal space and you're magic on her, all she's gonna be thinking about is how she wants to get out of there. She plays her own slow game of slowly pressuring you and getting into your range, but if you disrupt that process and end up in her face before she's ready for it, she's gonna end up overwhelmed, and all she's gonna have is her up B to get out of there, which can be predicted. Just make sure your combos or whatever you're using to deal damage up close ends when it should end, because if you overextend, you're gonna get up B'd or you're gonna get nared even, which is also really scary because it kills, and Samus is just gonna have her space again, and you don't want that. When you have them feeling this up close pressure character and you are just battering them and comboing them. If they're a regular Samus player, they'll mix up their escape options. But MASHY online Samuses love to air dodge, they love to roll, they love to use their up B at a shield or up B as a combo breaker, which aren't bad options. Up B is an amazing combo breaker, but what I mean is the more MASHY they are, the less they'll mix these options up. And eventually you can call people out for this, so it's cool. And if you're at a high percent, as soon as they have a little bit room to breathe, they might just grab you and go for up throw, because these people are really scared and they're like, oh, you know, grab up throw, bye. I don't know. That's just something that they do. Just grab a surprise up throw. Alright, finally, for disadvantage against these nerdy ass, diaper wearing, campy ass Samuses, this is the hardest part, alright? Do your best to not get ledge trapped, no matter what. If you skip the ledge a few times and recover high and you notice they're just not punishing you for it because they're bad, keep doing it. Samus easily has among the best ledge trap games in Ultimate. If you have a character with an insane recovery that lets you skip the ledge trapping phase sometimes, abuse that. Abuse the hell out of that. Take Zero Suit, for example. CSS flip kick is a free escape from the ledge. They can catch you with forward air. Nothing is 100% guaranteed because people can adapt. But again, if you realize they're just dumb and they're not adapting and they don't know what to do outside of their cookie cutter ledge trap setups, then there's no reason not to just skip the ledge on them. They're bad. Other moves like this are Pikachu's quick attack, Brawler's knockoff flip kick, Hero's zoom, Yoshi's jump, Ike's quick draw, all of Meta Knight's moves. If your character has some cool movement option, go and lab things out. See what sort of secret mix-up you can do to make yourself more comfortable at the ledge. Well, yeah, if you're not lucky like that and you end up recovering low, shit, good luck. This is gonna suck. Ledge trapping is Samus at her strongest. It's hard. The traditional Samus ledge trap is to drop a bomb here and charge neutrally. That's it. In theory, if they set it up right, this covers every ledge option, because if you wait, you get hit by the bomb. And if you choose any of the other 4 ledge options, those being jump, get up attack, roll, and neutral get up, that will end up with you either getting hit with a charge shot or getting hit with a bomb, which will combo into the charge shot. Before we get into getting out of this, if you can spot that they misspaced themselves, maybe you can roll past them, and that's all good. They messed it up, they fumbled it. If they did space themselves correctly, which is most likely what'll end up happening, because, you know, if you're a Samus main, this is probably among the first things you should learn. Another thing you can do is to tank the bomb. This is coming directly from Mr. R, legendary Smash Ultimate player. I'll leave a link to his explanation down below. But it basically goes down to the fact that once this bomb hits you and you grab the ledge again, they're just gonna drop another one. If they don't, cool. You can just get out of the ledge like normal. Just watch out for the charge shot. It's still a threat, but significantly less so than a charge shot and a bomb. Well, yeah, most likely they'll try to be quick and drop a second bomb. And as this is happening, as Samus is on her way to drop another bomb, this is when you make your move, alright? This is where the odds shift in your favor a bit for 2 reasons. The first reason, it's good for you because if they're slow to react to you re-grabbing the ledge with invincibility because you took damage, you can roll and get past them as they place another one, or get up attack them on their way to place the bomb. And second, it's good for you because there's a higher chance they'll have their charge shot fully charged, which is kind of scary. It doesn't sound like a good thing, but it is kind of good for you in the context of the ledge trap. So yeah, quick Samus tech lesson before we move on. Neutral B is interesting because you can either shoot it while it's charging or shoot it when it's fully charged. If you shoot it while it's charging, it comes out really quickly, but when it's fully charged, you lose access to this charging stance. Makes sense. And charge shot is really strong, but it comes out slower, which means it's harder to time at ledge. This is why uncharged charge shot is super good at ledge. Shooting it while at this stance makes it come out faster, and it becomes a lot easier for Samus to react to a ledge option. If it's fully charged, because of this startup and because neutral get up shield is a really quick option, it would actually take a really good Samus to punish a neutral get up shield with a fully charged neutral B. So yeah, that's the Samus tech. So yeah, according to Mr. R, tanking the bomb is better than to get hard punished with a charge shot or a forward air or something. So I'll take his word for it, alright? That's how you get out of a super common Samus ledge trap. There's a ton of variations to this. Some people just go straight for trying to hit you with a fully charged neutral B, but looks like tanking the first bomb and making your move as they place the second one seems to work a lot better than it sounds. Some other things to note, just remember that if you wait too long, up tilt hits below ledge and fully charged charge shot hits some characters' ledge hangs, and also it varies from Samus to Dark Samus. Dark Samus shoots her charge shot lower. I'm so sick of saying charge shot, I'm sorry, but yeah, she shoots it lower. Isn't that cool? Yeah, nice. Make sure you check if your character gets hit with these. Once you get out of the ledge, unless you rolled and hit them or ran to center stage, or you did the awesome roll into roll, you're more likely still on the corner, and Samus still has a bunch of stuff she can do if she still has stage control. If you feel comfy in your shield, they can grab and forward throw you and try for another ledge trap, up throw for a kill, she can read your jump, she can read your roll, F tilt kills at ledge. Her normals are actually really good, so it's all about staying unpredictable. If you notice she's been forward airing you a lot, maybe don't jump, maybe she's expecting it. Remember the move that sent you off stage to begin with? Maybe it was forward air, maybe she's just gonna do it again. At that point, it's just up to your fundamentals, you know, getting out of the corner and all that. The hard part is the ledge trapping, but once you're on the ground, it's basically a rock, paper, scissors. It's up to the Samus to guess or to step back a little and try to react to what you do. So again, it's up to your fundies. Just mix up your options. That is the most important part. Your number one priority in the corner against Samus most of the time should just be about taking back the stage, not just hitting them. If you're always trying to hit her like at the corner, the odds are still in her favor. You can even those odds out if you take center stage. Like, it's always good to mix up your options, and taking risks is a part of Smash. If you want to hit her while you're cornered, that can work, but overall the safer option is to just take back the stage. And because these are online Samuses, again, getting hard red by one isn't likely. They're bad at the game, remember? A good Samus, they'll know you know the matchup and they know you want to back the stage and they might catch you rolling or something, so be careful there. But in terms of shitty online Samuses, the kind of Samus players that are the reason you're watching this video, who you know you should be winning against because they're super bad but you somehow just still struggle against them, in terms of those guys, you are gonna be breaking some serious ankles with this knowledge, alright? So yeah, that's the MASHY online Samus guide. Again, not a Samus guide, a MASHY online Samus guide. Very important distinction there. Actually, hold on, some parts of this guide might have ended up just being a general Samus guide, because that ledge trap setup is actually something you'll still see at a top level, but I mean, that's because Samus is just a really good character, and she's also easy to pick up. So yeah, that's today's video. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you got some cool stuff out of this guide. I hope you never lose to annoying ass projectile spamming and brain dead ledge trapping again. Obviously, you know, one thing is like watching this video, and another thing is the execution of the tips I gave you. Don't expect to just never lose to Mashy Samuses ever again just because you saw this video while taking a dump. You know, fighting Samus does force you to be super aware of what she's doing, even if the person playing her is someone without a brain. You will mess up. This character gets a lot off of people getting tilted, so don't get tilted. I said it at the start of the video and I'll say it again. Once you get angry, it's over, so don't get angry. Let me know if you want to see this video, but for other quick play / elite Smash warriors, that could be fun. Maybe if this video does well. Yeah, that's it. Alright, bye.